This video is about 3 new ways of using the Plait Mobile app, which have been recently introduced. On the screen we've got the web interface to the back office system, and on the right hand side we've got the mobile system. So the first new way of using the Plait Mobile is to give access to a client's contact to see the recent visits to a client. And the first thing that we need to do is to set up a new contact to do that too. So I'll just do that now. And we'll call him Mr. Mark Contact. And he needs an email address. And his email address is going to be Mark plus contact. I don't really care. And so I save that. I can close that window, don't need that again. And I go into my client, Catherine Earnshaw, go into her contacts tab and add a new contact. And it's Mark Contact. And the type of contact is going to be other, no relationship. And so this is a new field here, or an amended field, data access. This determines what level of access a contact gets to the data relating to the bookings for this client. And there are 4 levels of access: no access at all, get sent an email after a booking is complete, get access to the mobile app, and then both get a summary email and access to the mobile app. I'm going to select just the mobile app access, and then we get some sort of permission thing coming up here if any kind of access is required. And what sort of permission you need is set up here in the access permission field. And at the moment we've got 2 options, a simple checkbox and a scanned document. Now this field may move around a little bit, but it's in the point of care tab, and if you search using the browser for access permission, you'll find it, even if it ends up being quite a lot further down than it is at the moment. So we've got simple checkbox selected, and when you've got simple checkbox selected, you just get a checkbox here and a slightly scary warning to make sure that people do consider whether it's appropriate to grant access to this contact or not. So we've granted access to this contact, and the next thing we do is we save the record. And what happens at that point is that the system generates an email to that contact explaining what has happened. So I'll just bring that up. So here we go, there's the email. Ignore the colour formatting, that's an issue with my email client. But you can see that there's a little introduction saying what's happened. There's a link to follow to complete the setup, choose a password, and then some instructions about where to get the mobile app from. So I've opened up the link in another browser window, and you can see that it's exactly the same as what you get when you're set up as a new user on the system. So you get the opportunity to change your username, and you just get the one opportunity to change your username, and I'm going to take that opportunity and I'm going to call it contact 1, and I'm going to set up the password and confirm it. Okay, so that's done. And if I was to try to log into to Plait using those details, I can't log in. I get no access to anything on the main system. I've been set up with a level of authentication that only lets me get in to the mobile. So let's have a look at what happens when I do log into the mobile. And you can see that I get access to the bookings that my client has had over this week. I could scroll back and have a look at last week's. I can even look at what's being planned in subsequent weeks. And then I get to see some bits of data, and what data I get to see is determined by how this field right at the bottom here is set up. So viewable to contacts. So I get to see everything. These are all the options. I get to see the visit logs, if there are any, the actual times the visits took place, who the care workers were, what tasks happened and didn't happen, and medication details. So you can see here that I've got the name of Will Kane, the care worker, and you can see if I click on that little glyph there, it shows me that he's not arrived. Now I don't have any tasks on this one, but I do have a medication button, and I can see what the meds were meant to be on Monday, and they've not been administered because this is just dummy data. So that's what the contact will see. Now the format of that will change over time, will be improved, and we will put the live care plan on there as well, but for now it's just the bare bones. So the next new way of using the mobile app is designed for the use of paramedics and the like, people who might go and visit a client that you're providing a service for and want to know what's gone on recently so that they can make decisions about what the best thing for them to do is. And they need to find something in the client home that says if you want to know the history, then you can download the Plait Mobile app from the Play Store or the App Store, and then click on the top right hand corner glyph and scan in the QR code from some bit of client paperwork that you have on site. So let's have a scan of this, and it comes up with a message explaining what this method of logging in is for. Whichever care worker accidentally scans the client folder before they scan their own tab, then they'll see this, so they will hopefully click on the back button and go in the normal way. First thing that happens is that the paramedic or whoever has to type in their email. So Mark plus para 2 at reallycare.org, and they click on OK. And what happens when they click on OK is that if it's the first time they've used the app, the system will ask if it can do geolocation to see where they are and check that they're in the client home. And if they're not in the client home, then it brings up a message saying that this way of logging in is designed for use from within the client home. The system then sends them an email, and they need to get the PIN number from that email. So the email has arrived, and it's got this 6-digit PIN code in it, so it's 200-742. And I type that in, and it takes me straight through to the same interface as we saw earlier when we were looking at what a contact of a client would see. So let's log out from here. The third new way of using the Plait Mobile app depends on a bit of setup. This field here, the on-the-fly event type. So what this does, if we put an event type in here, and I suggest that it would probably be a good idea to create an event type especially for this, call it on the fly or something. So what can happen now is that a care worker can go and visit a service user for whom they do not have a visit in the calendar because the office have not been able to put it in or whatever, and they can check in to a visit that's created for them on the fly. And I'll demonstrate by logging in as a care worker. who does not have a visit planned in the sort of matching time frame for the client Catherine Earnshaw. And I'm going to scan into Catherine Earnshaw, and as you can see, we've got an unplanned on-the-fly visit event for Catherine Earnshaw, and it's logged me in using the QR code. It says it's an unplanned event, type on-the-fly visit, and I can log out in the normal way. Now if somebody in the back office puts in a visit, as it sort of backfills the visit, then they'll see the two visits and they should be able to sort out any discrepancy and make sure that the correct invoicing and payroll takes place.